So Cuba actually was pretty much putting his foot in his mouth about
Did you ever do anything with
the
Tupac
yacht
or no?
situation.
Did you ever?
No, I saw him right before he passed too. Yeah, that's
With
crazy.
Diddy.
Never work with him though.
What did Tupac do? He did gang-related Poetic Justice. He did Juice. And he did a couple other things. He did a
Did
basketball
something with Jim Belushi. Remember they did the one thing?
Yeah,
where they were
yeah,
road cops?
What did he do? Can you Above the Rim, Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson, which I thought it was great.
Yeah. Bullet, I think is.
Oh yeah, gang-related album soundtrack was actually good. I don't know if you've listened to the gang-related soundtrack. It was
Not
actually
in a minute. Not in a minute.
Yeah, it was a really, really good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Cuba, with all this stuff that's coming up with Diddy and you're on one end, 50 Cent is calling out Diddy and here's what he's doing and all this stuff, and they got the back and forth.
Yeah.
I got Suge on here.
Look at this example. Look what happened.
Yeah. And I got Suge on, exactly. No question about it. What do you think's going on with all the stuff with Diddy, with Little Rod, with, all the stories that everybody's hearing about?
You mean in terms of what?
I mean, being raiding his house being raided.
I mean, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing I'd ever. And then, hey, how about me? I wake up in the morning, I turn on Today Show, and Hector Cuba Gooding Jr. I was like, excuse me.
Notice how he's also already trying to be very defensive about it, but he's trying to act like he has no idea what's going on, like he's not a fucking defendant in the entire case of Little Rod right now.
Pull me into this. I think whatever he's dealing with, he's on his journey, man. I think that God has got him on a path where I can't imagine that he's stupid enough to do whatever he's doing and keep it on his premises. I think that the raid and all of that stuff, only time will tell who was involved, who had been a frequent guest in these places and areas. It's funny because my lawyers said, every outlet in the world wants to talk to you. And again, I'm like, I'm not defining myself from some headline in the press. So I stayed quiet. And it's so funny. So I'll tell you a little story about who my girlfriend is. She gave Robert De Niro 3 grandkids. Her name is Claudine De Niro. She married his son, Raphael. They separated, and we've been together for a while. But she, at one point, ran Naomi Campbell's publicity. She had one.
Notice how he took it completely off of the fact that he asked him about Diddy in the yacht in the first place. He completely reversed it when he asked him about, hey, what do you even know about, Diddy and the yacht and the Little Rod case? Like I said, he's acting, oblivious to the fact that he is a whole defendant on the Little Rod case. Notice that. He's not even saying anything about, oh, my lawyer said not to say anything, or I can't say anything right now. He's just deflecting the entire question.
Point ran P. Diddy's publicity, right, when he started doing the white party thing. Mm-hmm. He had just gotten freed from indictment, found not guilty. Did he? And he said to her, I'm going to die running with these niggas, man. I need you to help me with the white folks and the switch. And so she helped change, cultivate his new image. So they had a friendship for years. But I had never met him till probably 2019-20, just casually, Claudine and I. He invited us to his house. The pandemic was starting to ease, and hadn't seen him since that night where this guy with this picture that says that I had my shoulder on him and all this stuff, making it look sordid. Well, that picture, everyone in the room, there's probably 300 of us on the deck of P. Diddy's, I'm going to show you, on P. Diddy's boat, New Year's Eve. I went from one ship, Happy New Year. So I hung out with Tyson, and next ship, there's Drake. This ship had P. Diddy. He had his guy, his videographer. They're listening to music. And he says, hey, Cube, listen, you want to hear P. Diddy's new song? I said, yeah, sure. Sit down next to him. They didn't.
We're going to pause it right here because we're going to go right to the Little Rod case right now because he's lying. He's definitely lying about that. For the simple fact that I don't believe that was even on. If I remember correctly, That was not on the New Year's Eve. I don't believe Cuba Gooding Jr. was on the New Year's Eve yacht, if I'm remembering correctly. See if I can find that PDF real quick. This is the original one. Okay. Let me just find it real quick. Just pull it up. See if I can find the original one. Because from what I remember, Mr. Cuba Gooding Jr. Okay, so let's see here. So we're going to take a pause and look right back at the case. Okay. So Mr. Combs attempts to pass off Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off his friends. This fear became reality when Mr. Combs introduced Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. while they were on Mr. Combs' yacht. During the introduction, Mr. Combs suggested that Cuba get to know Mr. Jones better. He then left them alone in the makeshift studio on the yacht, as evidenced by a video of which screenshots are embedded below. Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching and groping. Okay, so yeah. Doesn't say anything here about it being the New Year's Eve event. So that right there tells me right there that Cuba Gooding Jr. is definitely lying already. There was nothing about it being a New Year's Eve party. Especially when on the New Year's Eve party, everybody was pretty much inside their own little separate things, doing their own little separate thing. And if I remember correctly, during the New Year's party, that was the New Year's party was where everybody was upstairs. There was nobody in the studio. Yeah, there was nobody in the studio whatsoever. So that should tell you right there, Mr. Cuba Gooding Jr. is lying.
Use this angle, which to me makes me laugh, because I go, oh, I get it. You made it look the way you wanted it to look. But that, and if you hold it, you know how you hold it and it does the thing where, can you hear all the people? If you tap it or something, it's a live picture. You see what I mean? It's like, here we are, just listening to music. Finished, took the thing off, said whatever I said to him, left. That was it. But this guy who's suing him, going after the money, man. I'm sure. And by the way, I don't know P. Diddy's life. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what the police are going to find on all of that.
Were you guys close? Were you guys friends, or?
We were acquaintances, just like I just showed you. Yeah. 2-3 times I've seen him. So it's.
Oh, so Diddy, you've only seen him 2 or 3 times.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So why would they include you all of a sudden in some way?
I think because of the darkness of the other grab of the cases that I already had went through.
Right. A lot of that stuff is 18, though, 19, right? Those are from 5-6 years ago, the cases.
That's right.
Notice how he even says that it's because of the cases that he went through. Cuba needs to understand that it's nothing to do with the cases that he went through. It's more so to do with the cases that Diddy is going through. It's nothing to do with the cases that Cuba Gooding Jr. has went through in the past whatsoever. So again, this is another case of him doing the whole deflection thing, knowing that he's basically caught in a lie. So he also said that there are hundreds of people around. We already saw in the pictures that it was pretty much just Diddy, Little Rod, and Cuba Gooding Jr. in the picture, right? So when Cuba Gooding Jr. has his arm around Little Rod, there's nobody around pretty much. And if there's a New Year's party going on around, I pretty much doubt that Diddy is just down there in the studio. Remember, he said in the original part of this that this was the New Year's party. So if there's a New Year's party going on, who the fuck is going to be just sitting around in the studio at that time? Of course, even if there's it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody just going to be chilling in the studio on New Year's when there's an entire party going on upstairs outside. Okay, so again, Cuba Gooding Jr. is caught in a huge lie right here.
And that was that at the peak of the Me Too movement, or was that pre Me Too movement?
That's
that
right.
is Me
That's
Too
right
movement,
when it
right?
kicked off. Yeah,
Right.
That was crazy.
Yeah. So it's it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Diddy.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But I did not know that you guys only hung out 2 or 3 times.
That's it, man.
And 50 was with you for your 56th birthday. I think you guys were hanging out together
But now,
in Miami.
Yeah, because we were in St. Bart's on that boat. But then in Miami, which is where I run around now, of course, I ran into 50 and he was promoting his champagne. I've seen Drake 100 times around town. He loves Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50.
I'm big with the rappers, man.
How do you feel about 50? How's 50 like?
It's so funny. I got a call from 50 who reached out to me and said, "We got to uplift our black entertainers and let's work together." I said, "Great." So we'll see,
Notice how he throws 50 Cent in there now. So, of course, we all know that 50 Cent has the beef with Diddy. So, now you're trying to throw 50 Cent in the mix, trying to say, oh, we just want to promote peace. We don't really want to say anything against Diddy. Bullshit, Cuba. We already know that you're being paid to say that for 50.
I try not to voice any of my opinion when it comes to the rap songs because just like everybody else, I'm into that music, man.
Are you following the Lamar and Drake thing?
No, I just heard about that.
Yeah, got it. I mean, that's like a whole...
Somebody just got shot today outside of Drake's house.
I
Did
heard.
you see that?
I heard.
So, I mean, it's like drive-by shooting in a gated community. I mean, that sounds a little crazy.
Yeah, Drake's security guard seriously injured in shooting at Toronto's mansion. Guard was shot inside Drake's home and had serious but non-life-threatening injuries while the assailant fled in a vehicle.
Yeah, I say to them, just like I said to Tupac when I saw him in the lobby of that hotel in Chicago. He said, "Hey, man, help me, man. Give me some advice." I said, "Hey, man, just remember your artistry first. I know you're getting caught up with all this madness, but you're an artist now." He said, "Thanks, Cube." He hugged me and he went off. And
how old was he at the time?
Well, 2-3 weeks later, he was gone.
Oh, no shit.
I saw him, and here's the second time I saw Tupac. This is a true story. Now, I don't like the conspiracy things. But that day, he was in a convertible, like Rolls Royce. He was at the stop site, and I was on a hockey tournament, so I was in Vegas as well, playing hockey, and Tyson had his fight. And I jumped out of the car, and I ran up to his car. Pac, it's Cube! And all 3 cars, all these cars, boom, 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 with the guns.
Get out.
No, that's Cube Good, man. Hey, that's Cube Good. And I go, "Oh, sorry, man." He goes, "You good?" I go, I'm good. I'm sorry, guys. Got in the car. So that happens that day when the sun's out, and at night, they get shot, and there's no cops around.
Can you believe Cuba Gooding Jr. saying that he was there when Tupac got shot? So if that doesn't tell you enough that Cuba Gooding Jr. is a bona fide compulsive liar, I don't know what the fuck else does. For him to say that he was there in Las Vegas right as Tupac was about to get shot, I guarantee you there's at least 20 to 25 people, if not more, that can pretty much say that Cuba Gooding Jr. was the last fucking person that they saw on the corner where Tupac was shot in Vegas, dog. So I'm not believing a single fucking word that Cuba Gooding Jr. is saying. Number one. Number two, notice the second person now that he has mentioned that is in correlation to Diddy. So the first person he mentioned was 50 Cent. Now he's mentioning Tupac. Notice how Diddy is also in a situation where Keefe D could potentially put him in the place of the murder of Tupac as well. And now Cuba Gooding Jr. is mentioning that he was there with Tupac's shooting. Ironic.
That's a true story. I was involved in that.
So in the morning, few hours later, he's gone.
Yeah. Yes. And so where were all of those undercover cops that pulled the guns on me when I tried to approach him sitting in his car convertible?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying it's weird that they were going to blow me away, and I'm Academy Award winner. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because that's 96. So
Yeah.
and 96, you're like everywhere.
I'm the man.
Yeah, you're the man in
They're like,
96.
we don't care, get away, back up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
By the way, what did he pay you for Jerry Maguire? I forgot to ask you earlier. Was that your big payday?
No, yeah, at that point, 600 grand.
What's the biggest you made for a movie?
Oh, Snow Dogs. I can't talk hell about Snow Dogs. Whoa, that was a good year. Well, that's a 1-2 hit, baby. 13 million total that year.
Wow.
I made a lot
Get
of money
out of
that
here.
year. Yeah.
Good for
yeah.
you.
You know that money's gone.
Good.
I already spent that money.
Really?
Yeah, $13 million.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you made some good investments.
I made some investments, yeah, but yeah, that money.
Hey, final.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to...
And of course, as you know, he spent that money, but it's mainly because, it's Cuba Gooding fucking Jr. So that money was never going to stay in the first place. And for you to have $13 million, oh yeah, I made some investments. I bet that money is gone. You made some investments, but the fucking money is gone. You fucking, you know what? Keep my wits about me. Keep my wits about me. Yeah, man. Cuba Gooding Jr. is a liar, though.